What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Forgotten Fables. Welcome. We're going to be going ahead and doing a Hearthstone arena run today. And as you can see, I've already opened and purchased the arena. And our choice is Mage, Paladin, or Priest. Let's I haven't done a Paladin run in a while.
I will fight.
Let's go ahead and do a
honor.
Paladin. Our first three cards are Mana Wraith, Injured Blade Master, and Holy Wrath. Mana Wraith is okay. It's a 2/2 for 2 that forces, that makes all minions cost 1 more. This isn't as detrimental to us as we have our little 1/1 recruit, but honestly, I tend to kind of avoid Mana Wraith early. I'll take it later on if I know roughly what my mana curve's gonna work out to be. But honestly, it's not that good. Injured Blade Master is a 4/7 for 3. When you play him, he turns himself into a 4/3. If you have a way of healing him, he can get really powerful really quick. Priests really love this guy. Paladins, he's a solid card, but he's not absolutely must have. Holy Wrath is just kind of it's completely RNG based, so you can't really rely on it, which is a big problem. I've actually had this do absolutely no 1 damage, I think, if I remember correctly, and 5 mana for 1 damage is just absolutely terrible. So we're gonna go ahead and take an Injured Blade Master, because honestly 3 for a 4/3 is solid. Let's see, we got Argent Protector, Novice Engineer, Dark Iron Dwarf. Argent Protector is easily one of the best cards for a Paladin, hands down. I mean, it's a 2/2 for 2, but this also grants Divine Shield, which can let you turn anything into a favorable trade for you. Or if you happen to get lucky and have a Blood Knight in your hand, you can toss one of these guys and double its power, or triple it if your enemy happens to have a Divine Shield and whatnot. Novice Engineer, since this got nerfed, it used to be a 1/2 for 2 with the same battle cry. They nerfed it down to a 1/1 because it was just too efficient. You weren't setting yourself back a card by playing it, and a 1/2 traded fairly well for early drops. So, since it's nerfed, it's really not that good anymore. Almost not really useful at all, because 1/1 it's not going to trade with almost any other 2-drop. And Dark Iron Dwarf's a 4/4 for 4. Is really actually pretty good. I mean, again, they did nerf it because it used to be, give a minion +2 attack, period, and which was solid. But they nerfed it, Abusive Sergeant, and one other card that I can't remember what it was, where it was just +2 damage, period. They wanted to nerf it because frequently, if you you could not play it unless you had something to target for the battle cry, which meant if your enemy had a minion but you had no others and you had to play this, you basically had to give your opponent a buff, which really sucks. But we're going to go ahead and take Argent Protector. Let's see, another Argent Protector, Hand of Protection, Blessing of Kings. I'm going to go ahead and take, Hand of Protection is just his battle cry. It's all it is, quite literally, for a card. And if I was going to take Hand of Protection, I would much rather have an Argent Protector attached to it. Blessing of Kings, give a minion +4/+4 for 4 mana. That's, pretty straightforward. This can be very useful if you have a weenie minion or whatnot that you want to make want to make actually solid. It can be used as kind of a sort of faux removal where you can buff something up and kind of bait out your opponent to play a big creature and hope in hopes that you'll use something on it or not be able to deal with it, and you can buff the crap out of it. It's pretty solid. I typically like to take at least one in any given deck, any Paladin deck I have. We already have one Argent Protector. These guys are some of the best, one of the best minions in the game. So, if more pop up, I'm gonna take them. But for the right now, I'm just gonna take a Blessing of Kings because I don't have any guarantee that this is gonna pop up again. Technically, there's no guarantee that that'll pop up again. But that is a common, and I kind of like it. Let's see what we got. Reckless Rocketeer, Leper Gnome, Earthen Ring Farseer. Earthen Ring Farseer's fairly solid. It's a 3/3 for 3, that restores 3 health. If I have it alongside the injured Blade Master, I can make him a 4/6 for, effectively 6 mana, but then I have a 4/6 and a 3/3. Leper Gnome is one of the better 1-drops because he's a 2/1 and he guarantees at least 2 damage to your enemy, so he trades efficiently and guarantees his damage to the enemy unless they really want to waste a silence on him for some reason. Reckless Rocketeer, a 5/2 for 6 with charge. Useful, but not all that powerful. Like, yeah, you can use it as kind of a surprise tackler if your enemy throws up like Ascension, Shield, Masta, or something. You can just Reckless Rocketeer it to death and swing in with whatever you wanted, but ultimately not that good. I'll take it if in a pinch if I don't have much in the way of beef, but for this round, I think we're gonna take the Earthen Ring Farseer. Wisp, Bluegill Warrior, Guardian of Kings. Wisp is just garbage. You might go, oh, it's a 0-cost minion for 0-cost 1/1. Yeah, but the big problem with that is it's just a 1/1. It's not real. It's a vanilla 1/1, meaning it trades for my hero power. Mage will just ping it off for nothing. It's just not that good. The Bluegill Warrior's a 2/1 with charge for 2. It's useful for knocking over early minions, but really not that good of a card. And Guardian of Kings, 7 is a bit steep for a 5/6, but the Battlecry of Restore 6 health to your hero is pretty solid. We're going to go ahead and take that. That kind of counts a little bit towards our late game punch. Mad Bomber, Leper Gnome, and Stormpike Commando. Mad Bomber, really RNG based. If you watched my last arena run, you can see he kind of screwed me over at several points throughout the game, throughout my arena run. Leper Gnome, just not that, as I said before, it's one of the better 1-drops, but it's not that good. And Stormpike Commando is a 4/2 for 5 with automatically dealing 2 damage to whatever you want. That's useful, but at the same time, it's really weak. A 1-drop could take care of that. Yeah. Or even a Mad Bomber, leaving me leaving me with 3 damage. If I play Mad Bomber and it double hits Stormpike Commando, well, you just paid 5 mana to do 2 damage. So we're going to take Mad Bomber, even though I tend to hate it because it's a jerk and it's dumb. Corehound, Dalaran Mage, True Silver Champion. Corehound is a pretty bad card, all points considered. Yeah, it's 7 for a 9 damage creature, but it doesn't have charge, and it's only 5 health. It dies to Fireball. This is actually very easy to get rid of. Usually, your opponent will just either auto kill it with whatever they have, or they'll run something into it and then just ping it off with whatever low damage spell that they have. Dalaran Mage, I consider it one of the better spell damage creatures. 3 mana for a 1/4 is actually pretty solid because you can trade him out for, basically trade for a couple of lower cost cards, and because he buffs your spell damage, he can pay for itself. Not as useful in a Paladin deck because they tend not to have much in the way of heavy hitting spells. Like, there's Consecration, which is nice, but it's not absolutely necessary that you have you have any spell damage. So we're gonna take True Silver Champion because it's pretty much the best weapon in the game. 4 for a 4/2 that heals you when you attack. It lets you really kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It lets you really kind of trade significantly more efficiently with it, or you can just use it as a heal against a. You can take out like a shield bearer or whatnot and heal yourself while doing it. Spiteful Smith, Darkscale Healer, Cobalt Geomancer. Cobalt Geomancer, 2/2 for 2. They seem to like that. But it also has spell damage. It's okay, but it's really easy to get rid of. It's good if you want to throw something down and like you're 1 damage shy of killing something, and you want to throw it down to get that little extra oomph out of a spell to kill like a high priority target, etc. But on its own, it's really not that good. Usually, it doesn't really trade all that well, and the spell damage isn't extremely valuable. Darkscale Healer's a 4/5 for 5. When you play it, it restores 2 health to every friendly character, so all your minions, you. It's not bad, and if Spiteful Smith wasn't here, I would actually probably go for that, because you can kind of cheese it to say make a trade actually efficient and worthwhile. Like if I had this out and I had the enemy had like a 2/4 or something, I could run into that, survive with the injured Blade Master, and then heal it back up. But ultimately, because Spiteful Smith here, and Spiteful Smith's a 4/6 for 5, that as long as it's below 6 health, my whenever weapon I have gets +2 attack, and that is really solid. Let's see, Holy Wrath, I talked about that before, it's absolute garbage. Violet Teacher, good for mages or priests, or, well actually they're really good for priests, rogues, druids, and mages, but on most, like, paladins really have very little use for it. Questing Adventure is one of those kind of awkward cards, because it's, how to put it, it really, like, it can get really good if you have a lot of cheap spells, but otherwise it's usually pretty easily removed or dealt with. Silence absolutely screws it over. But if you can, if you have what's the word I'm looking for? If you have it on turn 3, and you have a another card to play immediately after it, you can coin after this. It's suddenly it's a 4/4 for 3. That's pretty solid. Otherwise, most people tend to be really spooked by it, so they tend to try and kill it really, really quickly. So we're going to go ahead and take that instead of either the other two. Let's see. Bloodsil Corsair, Young Priestess, and Abomination. Bloodsil Corsair, it's a 1/2 for 1, which isn't bad with with an okay battle cry, but it's still just a 1/2, and only useful against either a priest that steals something out of your deck, a warrior, a hunter, or a rogue, or another paladin. So you have 4 out of the 9 classes that this can do anything to. So yeah, not really all that worth it. Young Priestess, not bad, but actually, yeah, it's still pretty bad. It can be useful if you can toss it out after holding on to, if you have a heavy taunt wall up, it can be useful, especially if the taunt wall is your only other card. Otherwise, it's easily picked off. It's just, yeah. An Abomination, solid taunt, a little pricey, but especially when you consider that deal 2 damage to all characters means everything on your side of the board too. Not exactly the most useful thing in the world, but not terrible either. Fairy Dragon, Stone Tusk Boar, Raid Leader. Raid Leader can be really useful. It's a 2/2 for 3, but when you play it, all your other minions have +1 attack. It's only got 2 health, which means it's fairly easy to remove. So I actually tend to avoid it, to be perfectly honest, more often than not. Stone Tusk Boar, really, for can't really ask much more for one drop. A 1/1 with charge can be, can be useful, especially as a hunter. But for any other class that isn't a hunter or mage, not really all that useful. I only say it's useful for a mage because they can, ping something and then just throw this down to clean up. Fairy Dragon, 3/2 for 2, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. That means yours or the opponent's. Useful, and 3/2 is not exactly anything to sneeze at. And people tend to kind of get tend to get a little spooked by it. But with only 2 HP, it's really kind of weak. It dies fairly easily. South Sea Deckhand, Raging Worgen. It's a 3/3 for 3 with Wind Fury when it's enraged. That's useful, except if you don't have, that's really useful for a mage or someone that can actually deal 1 damage to it somehow. But otherwise, it's kind of poo. Because 3 health means most classes are going to be able to wipe that out pretty easily, without any real problems. They're going to actually just kill it straight off instead of risking enrage it. While it does early game, it does kind of make your opponent have to work around it, but at the same time, it's not a huge deal. Chillwind Yeti is a 4/5 for 4, no abilities. Really solid card. It's got 5 health. It's difficult to remove, or by the time you can play it, it's difficult to remove. The reason, Corehound has only 5 health as well, but Corehound also costs, I think, 9 mana. Yeah, 9. I think 9 or 7 mana. So 5 health at 7. At turn 7 is easy to deal with. 5 health at turn 4, not so much, without making the Yeti very efficient in trades. I kind of glossed over South Sea Deckhand. It's a 2/1 for 1 that has charge only while you have a weapon equipped. We only have 1 weapon, meaning we have a 2 in 30 chance that these are both going to be in our hand. Not really all that useful. Unless you can coin a weapon out on turn 1 and then have 2 of these in your hand, then they can be useful. Otherwise, not really. We're going to go ahead and take the Chillwind Yeti. Abusive Sergeant, Razorpen Hunter, and Frost Elemental. Abusive Sergeant is a 2/1 for 1 that when you play it, you can give another minion +2 attack for that turn. This can be useful for turning for sniping off something that's a bit tougher to kill that you just don't quite have enough damage for. But ultimately, pretty bad card. Excuse me. Ultimately, a pretty bad card in and of itself. Frost Elemental, 5/5 for 6, with a battle cry. When you toss it, it freezes a character. So you could freeze, one of the enemy minions that's giving you problems, etc. It's okay, but it's not that good. Razorfen Hunter's a 2/3 for 3 that summons a 1/1 boar. This actually isn't terrible because you can use the 1/1 boar to kind of mess up positioning on your board, to avoid things like Cone of Cold or either Cone of Cold or Explosive Shot, etc. And effectively, it's a 3/4 for 3 with 2 different minions. So I'm gonna say we're actually gonna take the Razorfen Hunter. It's not that good of a card, but again, it is what it is. Ascension Shieldmaster, Raid Leader, and Stormwind Champion. Stormwind Champion is a fantastic card. And if your opponent doesn't, if you get more than one of these, or your opponent doesn't have an answer to it right away, it can, really wreak some havoc and really set you up to win a game. But Senjin Shieldmaster is pretty much one of the best minions in the game. It's extremely cost efficient, 4 for a 3/5 with taunt, meaning, again, like I was saying with the Chillwind Yeti, it's the fact that it's taunt and it has 5 HP at turn 4 is really difficult to get rid of. So we're gonna go ahead and take that. Noble Sacrifice, Goldshire Footman, Earthen Ring Farseer. We already have an Earthen Ring Farseer. It's a solid, it's a pretty good card. But because we already have one, we're gonna look between Noble Sacrifice and Goldshire Footman. Mostly because we have a few 2-drops, we don't actually have any 1-drops. Goldshire Footman's really not that good. It's a 1/2 with taunt for 1, but it dies to most 1-drop, to like half the 1-drops and just about any 2-drop. So, that and the fact that it's taunt means you can't really trade efficiently with it without. It can be annoying to get through if you only have like a one attack, 1-drop, but it's not that good of a card. Noble Sacrifice. Again, it's also not that good, but you can really kind of mess with someone if they think they're going to be kind of cheeky and rush you down, and they have just enough to rush you down. You play Noble Sacrifice, and suddenly they don't have enough to rush you down. And, Noble Sacrifice is actually particularly deadly against. You can use it to stall out a late game monster, or it's rather deadly against low minions. But it's also fairly easy to figure out what it is. So we're sitting at about half our deck, and almost half of our deck is in our 2, 3, and 4 drops. We're going to go ahead and take another Earthen Ring Farseer. Not too happy about that, but let's see. Hand of Protection, Wind Fury Harpy, Redemption. Redemption is really not that good. You can kind of use it to be a little cheeky, and if you force your opponent to waste another card or another HP or something to kill off one of your more higher priority creatures. But let's see. As I said before, Hand of Protection, really not that good. Kind of surprised we haven't seen any more Argent Protectors yet. Wind Fury Harpies, okay. Most people tend to avoid it because it's 6 mana for a 4/5. Basically, it's 2 more mana for a Chillwind Yeti that has Wind Fury. And like I was saying, 5 health at turn 4, really difficult to get rid of. But once you start hitting turn 6, you start seeing fireballs, you start seeing explosive shot, you start seeing the more beefy minions that Wind Fury Harpy is just going to curl over, bend over and just take it, basically. Well, we'll take it anyway, even though I don't really want to. But we'll see how it goes. Thrallmore Farseer, Priestess Valoon, Light's Justice. Thrallmore Farseer is really bad. It's a 2/3 with Wind Fury for 3. It's just too weak. Most 3-drops will be able to kill that without any problem. Earthen Ring Farseer, that dies. Let's see, Injured Blade Master, that dies. Hell, even Mad Bomber, that dies. Fairy Dragon, that dies. There are several 2-drops. There are most 3-drops will die to that, and it's just not going to survive. Priest of Zaloon, garbage. 4 health at, turn 6. Yeah, it gives you 4 health to your hero, but 5 damage for... Ooh, it's a reverse Chillwind Yeti for 2 more mana. Most creatures are going to be able to kill that. Abomination, that's going to kill that. Senjin Shieldmaster, that actually wins. Chillwind Yeti, going to kill that. for 2 less mana. I could take that out with a True Silver Champion for 3 damage to my hero. Light's Justice, extremely cheap, extremely efficient. Not that much damage, but we'll take it. Let's see. Humility, Blessing of Might, and Spellbreaker. Spellbreaker is solid. Humility, it's a 4/3 for 4 that silences. You can use it to silence to get rid of an obnoxious creature like a taunt or a buffed creature that your opponent's buffed the hell out of. Blessing of Might, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not fantastic. Yeah, generally kind of meh. Humility can be super useful against against classes that tend to play giant single creature, like druids that play really beefy creatures with heavy hitters. But mostly not that useful. We're going to go ahead and take a Spellbreaker because we do not have any silence currently. Oh ho ho! So we got some legendaries here. We got the Black Knight, Malagos, and Harrison Jones. Harrison Jones, again, is a risk because there's only 4 out of 9 classes that actually have weapons. So if you're up against anything but those 4, he's just a crappy reverse Chillwind Yeti for 1 extra mana. The Black Knight, really powerful card. Just any taunt minions are usually obnoxious and difficult to deal with. We're gonna go ahead and take that because Malagos, yeah, he's +5 spell damage, but he's 9 for a 4/12, and we have exactly 0 spells that deal damage. Knife Juggler, Abomination, Gadgetzan Auctioneer. Gadgetzan Auctioneer, as I was just saying about Malagos, we have no spells. So he's effectively a 5 for 4/4. Yeah. Oh wait, excuse me. We have 1 spell that he would trigger off of, and that is Blessing of Kings. Really not useful. Knife Juggler, 3/2 for 2. That he's basically taunt because most people see this and just want to get rid of it immediately because he has a tendency to be really efficient and can really shut down your earlier cheaper drops. So we're gonna go ahead and take a Knife Juggler. Stranglethorn Tiger, Raid Leader, Darkscale Healer. Like I was saying, Darkscale Healer, not terrible, but Raid Leader, not that good. Stranglethorn Tiger is solid. The 5/5 for stealth for 5. 5/5 stealth for 5 is not bad. It means you can play it and you get to pretty much choose when it's gonna destroy something. Magma Rager, Dragonling Mechanic, Hand of Protection. Dragonling Mechanic is effectively a 4/5 for 4. It adds 2 separate creatures, meaning it can be, it's not bad, but it is kind of worse. It's rather worse than a Chillwind Yeti. Usually because the mechanical Dragonling gets sniped really easily by having only 1 HP. Magma Rager, god-awful card. 3 for a 5/1. No one in their right mind is ever going to let that live. Because it doesn't have charge, it's just useless. I mean, yeah, I guess you could technically be kind of cheeky with it if you're playing a warrior, you play it and then give it charge, but ugh, it's so bad. So we're gonna take the Dragonling Mechanic. I'm tempted to take a Hand of Protection because honestly we have 0 spells. I mean, we're just straight up creatures all the way. I probably should. Let me think here. We'll take the Hand of Protection because we can use it to kind of protect some of our larger creatures. Hand of Protection, Booty Bay Bodyguard, and Dark Iron Dwarf. As I was saying, Hand of Protection, we just took one. Not thrilled about it, but Dark Iron Dwarf, fairly solid for a a 4-drop. Booty Bay Bodyguard, a lot of people really don't like it because it's only 4 HP, and that at turn 5 that's usually pretty easy to. Once you start hitting turn 5 and 6, 4 HP is easy to get rid of, or usually easy to get rid of, because the 5 drops and whatnot tend to have significantly higher attack values. We don't have much in the way of taunt. In fact, we have 1 Senjin Shieldmaster. Oh, and an Abomination. Never mind, we have 2 taunts. I'd like more, but a Booty Bay, when I'm offered a choice between Booty Bay Bodyguard and Dark Iron Dwarf, I'm going to go with Dark Iron Dwarf. Repentance, Direwolf Alpha, Magma Rager. We already talked about Magma Rager. It's garbage. Repentance can be, it can be useful late game when you start having, like if your opponent is, playing a, basically is useful against the real thick, heavy creatures, but it's also, again, very easy to figure out what it is. If you play it on, you can play it on turn 4 and try and catch a Chillwind Yeti with it. You can play it on turn 8 or 9 and try and catch, Alexstrasza, Ysera, Malagos, the real big, nasty creatures. But we're going to go ahead and take a Direwolf Alpha. 2/2 for 2 with +1 attack on either side is solid. Oasis Snapjaw, Holy Light, Novish Inventor. Oasis Snapjaw is not terrible, but it's really not that good. It trades efficiently, but it's better. It's much more better for a hunter deck to use it than a paladin, because 2/7, hunter can buff up that character's its attack and make it actually solid. I mean, I guess technically, if I really wanted to waste my Blessing of Kings on it, but then I'm paying 8 for a 6/11. Holy Light, restore 6 health. It is what it is. Not fantastic. Not terrible. Not really, I'd say it's a little below average, actually. And Novish Inventor, 4 for a 2/4 draw card. Take it. Kind of cringing a bit here because most of our power is locked into mid-game now. We only have 5 cards left. The game, it really hasn't given us much for the higher end, meaning we're actually really going to start hurting once it gets to late game. Earthen Ring Farseer, Thrallmar Farseer. I already talked about that. Really bad. That's even worse. We take another Earthen Ring Farseer because it's a 3/3 for 3 that lets me I can heal other things. Spiteful Smith, Stormwind Knight, Raid Leader. Stormwind Knight's the only new card here. It's 4 for a 2/5 with charge. It's actually a really good card. Because we're lacking so much here in we're lacking in overall power. We only have 2 creatures that have higher than 4 attack. That's not good. We'll take a second Spiteful Smith. Ugh, really? Fuck you too, game. Fuck you too. Gives us another Wisp. Poop. Humility. Humility's good against, heavy creatures. The problem is that you're still giving it 1 attack and forcing it, if it's especially on something like a Ironbark Protector, where that it's now a 1/8 with taunt. It's okay. It's not fantastic. Elven Archer, it's a 1/1 for 1 that deals 1 damage. That guarantees at least 1 damage. Not bad. Mogashan Warden, Boulderfist Ogre, Stormwind Champion. I really, really wish I could take Stormwind Champion. The problem is, usually by the time you can play Stormwind Champion, unless you're ahead, Stormwind Champion won't win you the game in and of itself. You know, again, like I was saying, turn 7, just 6 health is usually fairly easily dealt with unless you have something to block for it. Boulder Fist Ogre is fantastic. Efficient, 6 damage, 7 health. And Mogashan Warden is just widely considered awful. You know, yeah, it's got 7 HP at turn 4, but it only has 1 damage, meaning your opponents can usually run a bunch of cheap junk minions in for without really caring. We're gonna go ahead and take the Boulder Fist Ogre. Really, game? Really? Holy Wrath. It really wants me to take Holy Wrath for some reason, and ugh. I mean, let's see, about half of, no, we've got more 1, 2, and 3 drops than we do higher than that, so on average, by the time we get that, we'd be looking at probably 2, 3, or 4 damage. Not worth it for 5. Pint-sized Summoner, 2/2 for 2. The very first minion you play each turn costs 1 mana less. This could make 1 drops absolutely free. Not really that good because it's only 2 health. It's easy to get rid of. Alarmabot, 3 for a 0/3 that can potentially turn into Wind Fury Harpy or Boulder Fist Ogre or whatnot. Can be useful, usually pretty bad because anything that it swaps out with does not activate its battle cry. So good if you have a handful of things like Chillwind Yeti, Wind Fury Harpy, Boulder Fist Ogre, stuff like that, or Spiteful Smith. Otherwise, it's usually pretty bad. But we're gonna take it because it's just cheeky enough to work. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm hoping our first game doesn't take too long, because supposedly the servers are going down at 3. It is now 2:39. Of course, this is all provided we actually find someone to play against. Yep, there we go.
Versus Malfurion.
I must protect the wild.
I will fight.
Alright,
with
I'm
honor.
going first. Our opening hand is Direwolf Alpha, Questing Adventure, Black Knight. We're going to go ahead and just get rid of the Black Knight. We'll hold on to the Questing Adventurer because maybe we'll get a 1-drop. So, obviously, Elvish Archer is absolutely terrible to play.
Well met.
Terrible to play because he's just going to, turn 2. I get 2 damage against him, and then he's just going to kill it for free. So, what it does mean, though, is we can play Direwolf Alpha.
Job's done.
Then, either turn 4... We'll probably wait until turn 4 to play this. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and wait until turn 4.
Reporting for duty.
Nah, we'll go ahead and trade it out because honestly it's not that big of a deal. Well, we're going to wait until turn 4 to play. We're going to play these on turn 4 because... Ah, shit.
shot, one.
Job done.
This is what I mean by questing adventure can be good and it can be bad. Because it's only got 2 health, you play it on turn 3 and most 3 drops and several 2 drops will kill it flat out. It can get very good if you can play multiple things after it. But
The battle!
Job done.
okay. I'm going to drop this on turn 6. Main reason I threw down Abomination is because he has to attack me with it. He just has to attack with the Fen Creeper and attack with him. Or he has to throw both of his minions into it. If he throws... Oh, he's actually going to eat 5 damage just to keep that 3-2 alive. Okay. See, I do not agree with that. He took 5 damage to keep a 3-6 alive that we can just destroy. So, this next turn, we're going to play Questing Adventurer, followed by a Blessing of Kings to make him a... He's going to get +5/+5. So he's going to go set. He's going to be a 7/7 right out of the bat.
Give me a quest.
Whoops.
I'm invincible!
Odds are he either has a silence or he's going to run into his Boulder Fist Ogre in to deal with that. Because if he doesn't deal with it, it's going to turn into a real big problem for him.
What you want?
May my ancestors watch over me.
What is he? Is he going to run? No? Okay. He's hoping like hell I don't have a way of killing both of his taunts and punching him in the face. But, unluckily for him,
For justice!
I have a very easy time of doing that. He mishandled that. That Blessing of Kings questing adventure when he played the Boulder Fist Ogre, if he would have been much better off had he run his
Well played.
Well played.
do.
You call that a win?
Of course.
I'm invincible!
And that's GG. Yeah, because he didn't just eat the 6 damage out of the questing adventure, that just absolutely screwed him over. But, if you'll give me a minute here, I have got to go check and see what the hell the cats have gotten into. And we're back. Sorry about that. Cats have somehow completely flipped their entire food. They have a little mat that we put our... Oh! Okay. I guess that's the end of that. Oh well, thanks for watching, and you can see my cool Pink Floyd-esque background. Anyways, catch you later.